I think this is a fine business, a really fine, century-old business that has evolved many times over the years to deal with changing conditions. I want to congratulate the owner of SPC Ardmona, coco-cola Amatil, for the efforts that they have already made to restructure the business. They've already put many millions into the restructure. They've put a new management team in place. There are new marketing strategies, both domestically and abroad, to ensure that this business can go forward in the best possible condition, to ensure that it continues to be a large employer in Shepparton, to ensure that its workforce continue to have good jobs into the future. I'm delighted that the information that coco-cola Amatil gave to the government in the course of the last few weeks shows that they are keen to invest an additional $161 million into the business. They're also prepared to very extensively renegotiate the enterprise bargaining agreements. This is a restructure, a necessary restructure that coco-cola Amatil, as the owner of SPC Ardmona, has been prepared to embark upon. I think it's very important now that coco-cola complete the restructuring that they have embarked upon. It is very important that they complete the renegotiation of the enterprise bargaining agreement. The existing agreement contains conditions and provisions which are well in excess of the award. There are wet allowances, there are loadings, there are extensive provisions to cash out sick leave, there are extremely generous redundancy provisions well in excess of the award. This does need to be very extensively renegotiated if this restructure is to be completed. And I have to say, as SPC and coco-cola go about this renegotiation, they'll certainly have the support of government in doing so. I think it's great that SPC Ardmona do have the support of such a strong parent business, because coco-cola Amatil is one of the most profitable companies in our country. It's a $9 billion business by market capitalisation. In the last 6 months for which has been reported, their pre-tax profit was just a whisker under $300 million just for 6 months. I think their after-tax profit was about $215 million. So this is a very, very strong business, and I think this is a business which well and truly has the resources to ensure that SPC Ardmona is in a strong position to restructure in a way which will enable this company, these jobs, to flourish into the future. This is a government which is committed to trying to maximise employment, to try to ensure that the workers of Australia have viable jobs for the future. They have well-paid jobs in viable businesses. And the best way to ensure that that is the case is for business to lead the restructuring that is necessary to ensure that companies like this have a strong future. Now, as I said, coco-cola Amatil is a very good business, very, very good business. Its chairman is David Gonski AC, one of our best-known business people, also the incoming chairman of one of our leading banks, former chairman of the Future Fund. I know he won't let those workers down. I know he will want to ensure that SPC Ardmona has a strong future, and I think as a subsidiary of coco-cola Amatil, SPC Ardmona does have a very strong future. I think Shepparton will continue to be a very dynamic town, and I think that the agricultural industries of Shepparton have a bright future with a business like Coca-Cola Amatil as the owner of SPC Ardmona. So, as I said, it's been a very good cabinet discussion, lengthy. All positions were put. Everyone had a chance to say their piece. I do think, if I may say so, that the decision that came from the cabinet today does set an important marker. This is a government which will make sure that the restructuring that some Australian businesses need, that some Australian sectors need, is led by business as it should be. And we will set the parameters. We will ensure that the climate is as good as it possibly can for those businesses to do what is necessary to restructure, to survive, to employ, and to give their regions, to give their workers the best possible chance to flourish in the future. I want to thank Ian Macfarlane for the work he's done. Ian has been the Industry Minister now for, I think, 6.5 years, haven't you?
Almost, yeah.
6 years under the former government, 4 or 5 months now under this government, and Ian has worked very closely with this business. This is a business that went to the former government seeking some support. He's discussed it with the business, and I think that what we've got from the business is indications that they are prepared to make the very substantial investment in SPC Ardmona, the very substantial commitment to restructure the EBA, which is necessary for this business to do well in the future. But thank you so much, Ian, and you may like to add to the discussion.
Well, thanks, Prime Minister. The Cabinet has made a decision not to support the proposal to supply $25 million to SPC Ardmona. This was an issue I inherited from the previous government. It was an issue which I wanted to put in front of Cabinet for the reasons which the Prime Minister has outlined. It is fair to say that I have not taken an issue to Cabinet before which has been given such an extensive and fair hearing. It occupied quite a bit of the last Cabinet meeting pre-Christmas. And again today, I think it is a clear delineation of where this government believes we need to go with industry policy. The decision is based around two premises. Firstly, that the parent company, Coca-Cola Amatil, under the chairmanship of David Gonski, is a very, very strong corporate citizen in our community, as well as a very profitable business. And we have confidence that they will stand behind SPC Ardmona and the community of Shepparton. That we believe, as the Prime Minister said, that we believe industry reform needs to be led by industry, and we believe that in this case the government would have to borrow money on behalf of the taxpayers to put into the proposal, where we believe Coca-Cola, with a very, very healthy balance sheet, is able to provide that money from within its own resources. So we made a decision. It was an extensive discussion, and I think, as I say, it is a defining point in terms of where we go with industry policy in Australia. Now, let me just say, though, that as someone who comes from regional Australia, who has a passion for regional Australia, I am very cognisant of the uncertainty that will face the workers in that community. And I say to Coca-Cola Amatil, these workers are your responsibility. The company made the decision to buy SPC. They have, by their own admission, managed the company, or SPC has been managed very poorly in the past, although I have to say that I am extraordinarily impressed with Peter Kelly, and I have every confidence that providing he can introduce some changes to conditions, and I emphasise conditions, not wages, that this can be turned again into a profitable organisation and a profitable subsidiary for Coca-Cola.